Welcome to my channel. Do you want to learn English in a simple and easy way? Many learners try grammar, books, and films, but they still feel nervous when they speak. What if one simple story could help you practice and understand English better? Today, I will tell you a story in 6 parts. Each part will give you new words, easy sentences, and ideas to help you speak and think in English. Stay until the end, because the last chapter will show you the biggest lesson of all. Chapter 1: A New Beginning. There was a boy named Ollie. Ollie was like many other students. He wanted to learn English. He wanted to speak, read, and understand. But every time he tried, he felt nervous. In school, he listened to his teacher. The teacher spoke English, and Ollie tried to understand. Sometimes he could follow, but many times he could not. He wanted to speak, but the words stayed inside his head. Have you ever felt like this? You know the word in your language, but in English, you stay quiet. That was Ollie's problem. Ollie thought, maybe I cannot learn. Maybe English is too hard for me. But at the same time, he had a dream. He wanted to travel. He wanted to talk to people from other countries. He wanted to read books and watch movies without subtitles. His dream was strong, but his confidence was small. Every day he told himself, I will try. And every day he felt afraid. This is the beginning of his story, and maybe it is also the beginning of your story. One day in class, the teacher asked a simple question. The question was easy. What is your favorite food? Everyone looked at Ollie. Ollie knew the answer. He wanted to say, my favorite food is rice. Such a simple sentence, but his mouth stayed closed. His classmates answered quickly, pizza, chicken, bread. Ollie stayed quiet. His teacher smiled kindly, but Ollie felt bad inside. He thought, why can't I say one simple sentence? Why is it so difficult? That night, Ollie sat in his room. He opened his notebook. He wrote the sentence, my favorite food is rice. He read it aloud again and again. At first, he read slowly. Then he read faster. My favorite food is rice. He said it 10 times, then 20 times. Slowly, he felt better. He thought, I can do this. I only need to practice. And for the first time, Ollie felt a small light of hope inside his heart. This was just the first step. Ollie still had a long way to go, but sometimes the first small step is the most important. Chapter 2: A Problem to Face. The next day in school, Ollie felt a little stronger. He remembered the sentence he practiced last night. He told himself, today I will speak. Today I will not be afraid. His heart was beating fast, but his mind was ready. The teacher came into the classroom and said, good morning. All the students answered together, good morning, teacher. Ollie also said it, but his voice was very quiet. He wanted to be louder, but he was still shy. Then the teacher asked another question. She looked at the class and said, what do you like to do after school? One boy said, I like football. A girl said, I like music. Another student said, I like reading. The teacher smiled. Then she looked at Ollie and asked, and you, Ollie? What do you like to do after school? Ollie felt his face turn red. His heart beat faster. He wanted to say, I like drawing. He loved drawing pictures in his notebook, but when he opened his mouth, no words came. He looked at his desk. The class became quiet. Everyone waited. The teacher waited. Ollie tried again, but his voice was stuck. Finally, the teacher said kindly, it's okay, Ollie. You can tell me later. The class moved on, but Ollie felt very bad inside. After school, Ollie walked home slowly. He thought about the question again and again. I like drawing. I like drawing. Such a small sentence, but he could not say it. He felt angry with himself. He thought, why is speaking so hard? I can write it, I can read it, but when I speak, I freeze. He almost wanted to give up. He told himself, maybe English is not for me. Maybe I will never learn. That evening, his mother saw him sitting quietly. She asked, Ali, what is wrong? Ali said, I cannot speak in class. I know the words, but I cannot say them. His mother smiled and said, Ali, every skill takes time. When you were a baby, you did not walk on the first day. You tried, you fell, and then you walked. English is the same. You will speak, you just need to try again. Her words gave Ali a little hope, but the problem was still there. He could write, he could read, but he could not speak in class. He knew he needed to find a way, or else he would stay silent forever. And so, Ali's real journey was about to begin. Chapter 3. A New Idea. The next day, Ali went to school still thinking about his problem. He sat in class listening to the teacher, but his mind was busy. He kept asking himself, how can I speak? How can I find courage? During the lunch break, Ali sat alone, drawing in his notebook. Suddenly, his friend Sarah came and sat next to him. She looked at his drawings and said, Wow, Ali, you are very good at drawing. Ali smiled a little. Then Sarah asked, Why don't you speak in English class? I know you understand, but you are always quiet. Ali felt shy, but he told her the truth. I want to speak, but I feel afraid. My words don't come out. Sarah thought for a moment and then said, Do you want me to tell you a secret? I was the same. I couldn't speak at first. But then I tried something simple. I started reading short English stories every night. I read them aloud, slowly. First, I understood little, then more and more. After some weeks, I felt brave enough to speak. Ali listened carefully. Short stories? He asked. Sarah nodded. Yes, simple stories. Not long books, not hard grammar. Just easy stories with simple words. When you read them aloud, you hear your own voice in English. Slowly, you become more comfortable. It worked for me. It can work for you too. That evening, Ali thought about Sarah's idea. He looked around his room. He had his school textbooks, but they were full of exercises and boring topics. He wanted something different. The next day, Sarah gave him a small book. The book was thin, with big letters and easy words. The title was The Little Cat. Ali opened the first page. The sentences were short. The cat is small. The cat is happy. The cat runs fast. Ali smiled. He could understand it. That night, Ali sat on his bed and began reading aloud. The cat is small. The cat is happy. The cat runs fast. At first, his voice was soft. Then he read louder. He repeated each line 3 times. After 10 minutes, he closed the book and thought, This is not so hard. I can do this. For the first time, he felt excited about learning. The next day, he carried the book with him everywhere. In class, at lunch, at home, he read 1 or 2 sentences whenever he had time. Slowly, the words started to stay in his mind. He could hear them in his head even when he was not reading. Ali realized something important. Learning English did not have to be scary. It could be small, easy, and fun. But Ali's journey was not finished. Reading gave him hope, but speaking in front of others was still his biggest challenge. Could he use this new idea to finally speak in class? Chapter 4. Struggles and Mistakes. Ali continued reading the small storybook every day. He read it in the morning before school, he read it during lunch, and he read it at night before sleeping. Slowly, he started to feel stronger. He could read faster, and he could remember more words. Sometimes he closed the book and tried to say the sentences from memory. He felt proud when he could say them without looking, but speaking in front of people was still very hard for him. One day, the teacher gave the class a small activity. She said, "Each student will stand up and say one sentence in English." The classroom became noisy with whispers. Some students laughed, some looked nervous, but most of them were ready. Ali's hands began to shake. His mind went back to the sentence he had practiced with his book. "The cat is small, the cat is happy." He told himself, "I can say this, I know it." The first student stood up and said, "I like football." The second student said, "My name is Aisha." One by one, students stood and spoke. Then it was Ali's turn. His teacher looked at him with a smile. "Ali, please give us one sentence." Ali stood up slowly. His legs felt heavy. His heart was loud. He opened his mouth and tried to say, "The cat is small," but instead he said, The cat is small." Some students laughed softly. Ali's face turned red. He felt embarrassed. He quickly sat down without finishing. The teacher raised her hand to stop the class from laughing. She said gently, "Good try, Ali. You spoke. That is the first step." But Ali still felt terrible. He thought, "Why do I always make mistakes? I cannot even say one simple sentence." He walked home that day with his head down. At home, Ali opened his book again. He read aloud, but this time his voice was full of anger. "The cat is small. The cat is happy." He repeated it again and again. Then he made a mistake again, and he laughed at himself. Suddenly, he remembered something Sarah told him. "Don't be afraid of mistakes. Mistakes are teachers. Every mistake helps you learn." Ali sat on his bed, thinking, maybe mistakes were not enemies. Maybe mistakes were part of the journey. If he stopped because of mistakes, he would never learn. If he continued, even with mistakes, one day he would succeed. He closed his eyes and whispered, "I will not stop. I will try again." Chapter 5, Small Success. The next morning, Ali woke up early. He looked at his book and read aloud again. This time, he was not angry. He was calm. He read slowly and clearly. "The cat is small. The cat is happy. The cat runs fast." He repeated each sentence, and when he made a mistake, he smiled instead of feeling bad. He remembered his new thought, mistakes are teachers. With this idea, his heart felt lighter. When Ali went to school, he carried the book in his bag. At lunch, while other students played, he sat under a tree and read one page. Sarah came and sat beside him. She listened for a moment and then said, "You are reading very well now." Ali smiled shyly. "Thank you, but I still cannot speak in class." Sarah nodded and said, "Don't worry, speaking will come. Keep practicing." Later that day, the teacher asked a question in class. She said, "Can someone tell me what animals they like?" Before Ali could stop himself, his hand went up. Everyone looked at him. His heart jumped. But this time he spoke. "I like cats." The classroom became quiet for a second, and then the teacher clapped her hands. "Good, Ali, that was perfect." A few students smiled and Sarah gave him a thumbs up. Ali sat down, his face red, but this time it was not from shame. It was from excitement. He thought, "I did it. I spoke one full sentence." It was only 3 words, but to Ali, it felt like climbing a mountain. He felt proud. That evening, Ali told his mother what happened. "I said, I like cats in class today." His mother hugged him and said, "See, Ali, every small step is a big victory." Ali wrote the sentence in his notebook and drew a picture of a cat next to it. He looked at the picture and smiled. The next day, He tried again. When the teacher asked, "What do you eat for breakfast?" Ali raised his hand and said, "I eat bread." The class was quiet again, waiting for him to make a mistake, but this time his sentence was clear. The teacher smiled and said, "Very good, Ali." His confidence grew stronger. Ali learned something important. Success does not come all at once. It comes slowly, one sentence at a time. First, "I like cats." Then, "I eat bread." Each small success gave him courage for the next step, and step by step, he was moving forward. Chapter 6. The Big Lesson. Weeks passed, and Ali continued to practice. Every night he read his small book aloud. Every morning he spoke 1 or 2 sentences to himself in the mirror. At school, he tried to answer questions whenever he could. Sometimes he made mistakes, sometimes he forgot words, but he never stayed silent again. His classmates began to notice. They no longer laughed when he spoke. Instead, they listened. Even his teacher said, "Ali, you are becoming more confident every day." One day, something special happened. The teacher asked the class to work in pairs and make a short conversation. Each pair had to stand in front of the class and speak. Ali's partner was Sarah. She smiled at him and whispered, "Don't worry, we will do it together." They practiced quickly. Sarah said, "Hello, Ali. How are you?" Ali answered, "I am fine, thank you. And you?" Sarah said, "I am good. What do you like to do after school?" Ali replied, "I like drawing." When their turn came, Ali's legs felt heavy again, but he remembered all his practice. He stood with Sarah in front of the class. His voice shook a little at first, but as he spoke, his words became stronger. "I am fine, thank you. I like drawing." The class clapped when they finished. The teacher said, "Excellent, Ali. That was very clear." At that moment, Ali felt something new. He was not just practicing English, he was living it. His dream of speaking was no longer far away. He could see it happening step by step. That evening, Ali sat by his window and thought about his journey. At first, he was silent and afraid. Then, he found a small book. He read, he practiced, he made mistakes, and he tried again. Slowly, he spoke. Slowly, he improved. He realized that learning English is not magic. It is not about being perfect. It is about practice, patience, and courage. Ali whispered to himself, "I can learn. I can speak. I only need to keep going." And in that moment, Ali understood the biggest lesson. English is not just about words. English is about believing in yourself, even when you make mistakes. So remember, like Ali, you do not need to be perfect. You only need to start small, practice every day, and never give up. One day, your voice in English will be strong too. If you enjoyed this English story with simple words, please subscribe to my channel for more. Like this video, share it with your friends, and write in the comments one new word or sentence you learned today. Your support helps me make more stories to help you. See you in the next story.